Ever wondered why you need to take off your shoes at airport security? Well, the airport security process is a fascinating world of protocols, procedures, and precautions. It's a delicate dance of safety and efficiency, involving everything from your luggage to your footwear. Isn't it intriguing to know what goes on behind the scenes, and why certain things are the way they are? It's time to alleviate those curiosities. Stay tuned as we delve into the do's and don'ts of airport security. First, we focus on what you should do when passing through airport security. When it comes to airport security, the first rule of thumb is to arrive early. This cannot be overstated. By showing up well ahead of your flight, you give yourself ample time to navigate any unexpected hiccups that might arise. Not only does this make the security process less stressful, but it also ensures that you're not the one holding up the line because you're in a rush. Next up, be prepared with your identification and boarding pass in hand. This might seem like a minor detail, but it's one that can significantly speed up the process. When it's your turn, you should be ready to present these documents without fumbling through your bag. In most cases, a valid passport or driver's license will suffice for identification. However, it's always wise to check the specific requirements of your airline and destination beforehand. Now let's talk about liquids. There are strict rules about what type and how much liquid you can carry through security. Generally speaking, each passenger is allowed to bring one quart-sized bag of liquids, aerosols, gels, creams, and pastes in their carry-on. Each of these items must be in a container that is 3.4 ounces or smaller. It's crucial to adhere to these restrictions to avoid any holdups or potential confiscation of items at the checkpoint. Also, remember to remove your shoes, belts, and anything metallic before you reach the scanners. This includes jewelry, watches, keys, and coins. It's a good idea to pack these items in your carry-on bag before you get to the security checkpoint. This can save you time and keep the line moving quickly. Lastly, always comply with the instructions given by the security officers. They are there to ensure everyone's safety. Even if you find certain requests to be inconvenient or unnecessary, it's important to remember that these protocols are in place for a reason. So, remember these points to breeze through airport security without any issues. Now that we know what to do, let's focus on what not to do at airport security. First, let's talk about prohibited items. It's tempting to take that Swiss Army knife everywhere you go, but remember, airport security won't be as fond of it as you are. The same goes for other sharp objects, large containers of liquids, and anything else that might be considered a potential threat. Check the Transportation Security Administration's list of prohibited items before you pack. It's a surefire way to avoid the embarrassment and delay of having to discard items at the checkpoint. Next, let's talk about humor. We all love a good joke, but airport security is not the place for it. Making light of security threats, even jokingly, can lead to serious consequences, including missing your flight while you explain your punchline to the authorities. So, when you're passing through security, keep the comedy for the in-flight entertainment. Now, onto your outfit of the day. You might want to rethink wearing that heavy metal belt or those shiny dangling earrings. Metal detectors aren't fashion critics, but they will beep loudly at excessive metal. This could lead you to a secondary screening process, which is not the kind of attention you want. So, dress simply and comfortably, keeping in mind that you'll have to remove items like shoes, belts, and jackets. And finally, patience is key. Airport security can be a tedious process, and it's easy to get frustrated. However, arguing or being uncooperative with security officers will only delay you further. Remember, their job is to ensure everyone's safety, including yours. In conclusion, avoid bringing prohibited items, refrain from joking about security threats, dress comfortably with minimal metal, and above all, be patient and cooperative. These are the main don'ts of airport security. Avoiding these don'ts can help you avoid unnecessary delays and problems at airport security. So remember, when you're ready to take to the skies, make sure you're also ready to breeze through security with ease. There are many myths about airport security. Let's debunk some of them. Firstly, many believe that all metal objects must be removed. Well, not all. Small items like watches, jewelry, and even glasses can usually stay on. These items typically don't trigger the metal detector. However, bigger items such as belts, shoes with metal, or heavy jewelry should be removed. Another common myth is that the scanners can see through clothing. This might sound intrusive, but it's not entirely accurate. The scanners used at most airports are designed to detect concealed objects that might pose a security risk. They're not designed to provide detailed images of a person's body. The images produced are more like ghostly outlines, not detailed pictures. There's also a myth that if you're selected for additional screening, it means you're suspected of something. Not true. Additional screening is random and can happen to anyone. It's just an extra layer of security. And here's a big one: the idea that all liquids are banned. In reality, the rule is about controlling the amount of liquids, not banning them altogether. Each passenger is allowed to carry liquids in containers of up to 100 milliliters each, all fitting into a single, transparent, resealable bag of 1 liter capacity. Then there's the myth that children and the elderly are exempt from security checks. While there may be some leniency, everyone, regardless of age, must go through the same security procedures. Lastly, some people believe that the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, makes the rules. Actually, the TSA enforces the rules made by various international and national bodies. They're just doing their job to keep us all safe. So, there you have it. These are just a few of the common myths about airport security. It's always best to be prepared and knowledgeable when traveling. The truth about airport security is less intimidating than many of the myths out there. Now that we've covered the do's and don'ts, here are some tips to make your experience even smoother. First off, consider your footwear. It's no secret that you'll likely have to remove your shoes during the security process. So, why not make it easy on yourself and wear slip-on shoes? This simple switch can save you precious time and avoid the awkward dance of trying to balance on one foot while removing a lace-up boot. Next up, let's talk about packing. When packing your carry-on, consider the items you'll need to remove for screening. This typically includes electronics larger than a cell phone. By packing these items on top, you can quickly grab them for screening without having to rummage through your bag. It not only speeds up the process for you but also for those in line behind you. And speaking of electronics, remember to charge them before you arrive at the airport. Dead electronics may need to be screened separately, adding more time to your security process. Now, let's address locks. While it's important to secure your luggage, not all locks are created equal. Choose a TSA-approved lock. These locks can be opened by a universal master key held by TSA agents. If your lock isn't TSA-approved and they need to inspect your bag, they will cut off your lock. Lastly, if you're a frequent traveler, consider enrolling in a trusted traveler program like TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. These programs pre-screen travelers, allowing them to use expedited security lanes. It's a worthwhile investment that can significantly reduce your time spent in security lines. Remember, preparation is key. By planning ahead and making a few thoughtful choices, you can greatly streamline your experience at airport security. With these tips, you can make your airport security experience as hassle-free as possible. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We've navigated the do's and don'ts of airport security, dispelled common myths, and shared tips to make your journey smoother. Starting with the do's, remember to always have your identification and boarding pass ready. Pack liquids in clear, resealable bags, and make sure they are easily accessible. Also, it's crucial to remove large electronics like laptops from your bags for separate screening. On to the don'ts. Avoid packing prohibited items, such as sharp objects or flammable substances. Don't overstuff your bags, as clutter can obstruct the view during X-ray screening. Keep in mind that joking about security threats is a serious offense and can lead to penalties. We also debunked some common myths. For instance, the notion that you can keep your shoes on during security checks is largely untrue. In most cases, you'll need to remove them. And no, security officers can't see you naked through body scanners. Finally, our tips for a smoother journey include dressing smartly for your flight. Opt for easy-to-remove shoes and minimal jewelry. Arrive early to give yourself plenty of time to navigate through the security procedures without rushing. Remember, understanding and following these guidelines can make your travels stress-free. Safe travels.